Let's talk some toys in here.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today it's the man child. Okay, so today up for review, we finally got into some new Masters Universe Origins. We got the Mechaneck and Ground Ripper set. Yeah, it's really cool. Have Mechaneck most of all. I never thought we'd see a Mechaneck in the Origins line, or it would go this far. Talking a year back, but here we are, and we got a lot more stuff coming out. Kind of odd that they stuck the Mechaneck, and put this Ground Ripper together as a box set. I guess that's going to help push out that figure. Would have been cool if he came in a single card. But, yeah, we got Mechaneck looking pretty cool. So moving up to the art on top of the box, Origins always has some of the coolest art. We got Mechaneck on the Ground Ripper there, ripping down the road from Castle Grayskull. Now, of course, there's the Origins Castle Grayskull out. And I'm wondering if this Ground Ripper has the old vintage style pull cord that was an action feature to make this thing rip across the ground. In the old one, the vintage Ground Ripper was called the Road Ripper, so you can see they changed the name if you're not familiar. Maybe it's something to do with the rights now. But I don't see that cord in here, so I'm wondering if they got rid of that action feature and this is just a roll toy now, and they just added it to give you Mechaneck in the box set. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get it out of the box. And checking out the back of the box, got some more cool Origins art as always. Ground Ripper just hanging out now. We got Mechaneck with his neck extended spine on. It looks like we got Tongue Lasher up here. Now he's announced for Wave 12 coming probably January next year sometime. King Hiss also, he's announced coming in as deluxe packaging, which is the end of this month, I believe. And we got the Eternity playset over here, which is cool, which that was a Mattel Creations crowdfund. It ended. I funded mine right a few days before it ended, and if you did, congrats. So it's looking cool to have that in there. So moving down, checking out some of the other features on this box. So yeah, swap to extend Mechaneck's neck, get the extension piece. Would be cool if we got a couple different pieces so you can make the neck longer like it was in a cartoon or 2000X. You get that little short stubby piece, but all right, it is what it is. And what's neat with this Ground Ripper now is it also gives you a second mantelpiece that you can switch out, as where the Vintage was just one tool, full tool vehicle, so you couldn't do that. And now as I'm taking a closer look, see real racing action. Looks like he just pushed this. I'm just really looking at this now. It doesn't have a ripcord, so it doesn't have the action feature the Vintage one did, which was pretty cool. Oh, I'm surprised I got rid of that. Oh, okay. And then moving down here is our cross-sell art. These are all Wave 11. The Snake Man figures. I already did Rattler, Cobra Khan, Snake Armored He-Man. Boltman I didn't get because I wasn't interested in them. And, of course, here's our Mechaneck and Ground Ripper image. All right, so getting everything out of the box. Let's check out the Ground Ripper first. Yeah, it looks very reminiscent of the Vintage, which I actually had a Vintage one when the Origins first came around. Now the color was a little bit different, and it was a lot heavier. And I thought I tried one of my Origins, like the He-Man on it. It didn't seem to fit right. So this is definitely all like completely new tooled Ground Ripper, seems to me. And it's really light. Now, flipping it around, we'll take a look at the details. But, okay, so here's the back, right? It has stickers and it all comes on it. Yeah, I think very different from the Vintage one from what I remember. And, of course, when somebody else gets this, there'll be other videos and maybe comparisons. But, yeah, no pull cord. It's basically a push toy. And so here's your big wheels, right? Same thing. Yeah, they just spin. Nothing special. It's kind of what the bottom looks like. And you can see all the other details, right? Bringing it back on this, we'll call this the right side. Looking at our mantle, comes with the stickers, very reminiscent of the Vintage, really well done. Bird-like head goes back to like the Sorceress, right? Something like that. You can see all little electronic foot stickers here or something. Yeah, even all across here, all those cool stickers. I think look all different from the Vintage one from what I remember. There's your front. And a little wheel there spins. Don't turn or nothing, but same thing as the Vintage. Had that weird design to it. And flipping around to this side. Same eye sticker. This sticker is a little different here. Now, it looks like it's, I think, designed a little different here so the Origins leg can stretch out and hold on to this better. Kind of here the front of the cockpit there. Cool sticker. Nothing special. I thought it might have a little more detail, but it is Origins. You can see the seat has a little bit, I think also a little bit of a redesign in here maybe. This looks the same from what I remember, but this looks a little different for that Origins figure. And then, of course, the wheel's the same. Okay, and all circuitry up top here. Got a little vent piece in here, just like the Vintage from what I remember. Okay, pretty cool sticker comes on. And here's your top. And then, of course, with the seat, you get this, yeah, your seat belt to hold your figure in. The vintage one was like a big rubber black piece. This feels like a harder plastic, very similar to what the wheels are made out of. And has a couple different loops for different figures or something like that, I guess, depending on the armored or who you want to put in there. And we'll just snap on the little end like that. And before we put the figure, I just want to kind of show you, yeah, it's just a push vehicle. That's it. Things like that, right? So you get a second accessory with the ground ripper. It's, or they call it a alternative mantelpiece. Looks like a snake. I guess it's supposed to be reminiscent of Snake Mountain, right? And doesn't really say in a box. I'm guessing so if you want to change out this bird head that reminds me of something from the Sorceress, you're going to pop that off like that. And you'll snap this alternative mantle in like that, right? Check that out. Now you got a ground ripper, I guess, designed for the Skeletor and his crew, the bad guys. Here's a quick look at the two different stickers on each mantle. This is the snake mantle, and then the one the ground ripper comes with. So check that out. Yeah, I'm super excited to have Mechaneck. He was really important character and probably one of my favorites as a kid. Midline, I would say, when Buzz-Off and Jitsu and them guys started coming out. I don't know what it was about him. Probably the colors, like all Motu stuff and the armor. And of course, this is just the reuse of Stinkwar's armored. But yeah, I love the colors and just unique look at the visor and the head. Now, let's bring that head in for a closer look. Yeah, the silver painted visor looks very, again, reminiscent of what the vintage did. And my visor's, yeah, see the shiny part in here, which I think it's just paint. I got some chipping. It's like a chrome paint, I guess, or sticker. I don't know. I can probably fix that, but it's a little QC issue on mine. And checking out his head now with this, we'll leave the armor on right now, the articulation, so we can go left or right, forward and go back about that far. Here's the back of the head there. Check out all the detail now. Let's pop off that peg for a second, okay? Check that out. And putting the head back on, so we'll move down to the body now. Yeah, just Stinkor's armor, the same armor Stinkor would use. Right, real soft. And of course, it's red with some silver highlights there in front. And there's the back of it. Now, as far as the articulation with the armored, same stuff with the origins, right? Out, the arm go up, down, forward, back. Bend at the elbow about that far, straighten it out. And Mechaneck has, let's see, so on this right side, he has a closed gripping hand, a little hinge joint can spin. And then the left side has that fully open hand, which I think the vintage one did too. And then moving down to the waist, of course, he has a waist articulation, pops in half, so it's always good for customization, a lot of these origins. And his legs go way out like that, right? Bend at the knee, straighten it out. It's got silver boots, can spin at the boot. You can always change these silver boots out now with brown boots or whatever you want, which we, with the origins where we couldn't do that with the vintage, which is cool. And then the foot, as far as the little hinge joint, go down, up, spin side to side. It's kind of on a rocker. And taking the armor off, you're not familiar, you're going to have two buckle straps in here, so you'll pop this side and pop the other. And then for Mechaneck, you have to pop the head back off, and then the arm will slide over like this. There's your buck underneath, just nothing new, right? Typical Origins He-Man buck. Here's a quick look at Mechaneck without the armor on. Put the head back on, right? You wanted to use them without it, or you can put some other type of armor on now. It's just like we were kids and we lose the armors, and he's just, you got this guy in his blue long johns or skin muscle suits or whatever they had on Eternia. So real quick, before we move on with Mechaneck's extension, the accessories, yeah, I want to put some He-Man armor on the buck and just leave the head on, right? Check that out, because that's what's cool with these origins now. You can make a whole video and just part swapping, but I thought that'd be cool to see what the He-Man's chest armor is now. We sort of have a new body or a whole new paint. Comes with the Mechaneck. And I thought I'd throw a vintage-inspired He-Man head on her with the He-Man armor on Mechaneck's body, right? Check that out. It's like, yeah, whole figure. And I also threw the new Eternia Viking He-Man alternative head on this body as well, just to show you that the Revelation new Eternia heads can fit the ball peg, what that looks like. Don't look bad at all. Right, with He-Man's chest armor, you can check that out. Again, we get the whole video with heads and stuff, but just give you an idea of what we can do with this new body. And putting the Mechaneck armor back on, this is what the He-Man head would look like on that body with that armored. So, yeah, it could be a whole of figures again, but pretty cool we could do all this now. And even just snapping off Mechaneck's lower legs, right, the body in half, and leaving this on or putting a cross armored on or whatever head you want on. But in this case, we have Mechaneck's armored, vintage-inspired He-Man's head and his lower legs with the boots. You can even do something like that. So he just has the upper muscle suit armored and some bare legs. Check that out. And we could do the opposite. Just put Mechaneck's lower belt and legs on He-Man. Just give He-Man some pants now. Put the chest armor on. Ready to go. All right, and get back to Mechaneck and his accessories. So we get his vintage-inspired mace or club-like mace-looking thing. Good detail. It's in like a darkish yellow, right? It's hollow on the inside there, and it's pretty heavy. And then, of course, you get his extended neck piece. Yeah, pretty short. It'd be cool if it was a little bit longer. You got a couple of these. But and obviously, he lost his action feature. If you're not familiar, with the Vintage, you would twist the waist, and the neck would pop up. So now we have a snap-on option instead. And, of course, to put that piece on, we're going to pop the head off. Then we're going to bring this piece in, snap it on top of the ball peg like this. And it looks like, okay, see there's little cuts in here too for which way you want the neck to pivot back and forth. And we just snap Mechaneck's head back onto this extension piece like that. And the top of Mechaneck's head on his extension piece, so he can't, obviously he can rotate and stuff like that, spin around, but he can't. He can look up a little bit, but not down too much. Gets hindered under the chin in this piece here, and then the piece here, you can, what's cool now with the articulation, go all the way forward, back, or you can spin it that way and go side to side or rotate it. I guess the circuitry, so there's a couple different patterns. I guess it don't matter. It seems like the way it's cut in the neck. You want something like this to be in the front maybe, not in the back, or vice versa. And if I pull the armor piece, the snap-on collar has a couple grooves that seem to match up the grooves in the neck. So it tells me this is the front piece with the circuitry, and this part's the back. And to take a quick measurement off the neck from, I'll say, the bottom of the chin, you're getting about almost 1.25 inches, a little more than that. That's as much extension as you're getting from here to the bottom of the chin. So let's see how tall it was. Another quick point too, for some reason, if you got two Mechanecks and a ground ripper sets and you wanted to, take one Mechaneck and just put the head on, just keep a short version or a He-Man head on that body or something, and use a second extension piece to make this piece longer, which would be cool. It ain't really going to work or look right because you still have this blue collar piece, so if you pop see the neck and the head, and the head off, you know what I mean? You'd have this blue collar piece on top of this. It ain't like two silver pieces. So I wish this would have come off. That would have been cooler to do that. And here's a quick look around now at Mechaneck with his extension piece in the neck and his club in hand. Check that out. And once again, getting back to the ground ripper, and of course, Mechaneck comes with it. I mean, we could put any figure in this, seems like, but we'll just stick with Mechaneck for now. See how he sits in it. So, okay, the feet kind of go up on these little, I don't know what these are, electric sensitive pedals or something, make this thing go. Sit back like this, keep the club in hand, and we'll put our belt around the waist with the armored. Then you just adjust the other side, make sure the foot's turned in, position them the way you want them. Put the club something like that, the hand, and make it look natural. Yeah, he fits on it pretty cool, I'll say that. It's holds him well with this belt, the way they reformed this compared from the vintage one from what I remember. And for a little battle action, we'll set up our new Cobra Khan over here. He's getting ready to spit some ass at Mechaneck. Got Mechaneck on a ground ripper. All right, now we can play with our toys. That Road Ripper core would have been cool, but anyway. And of course, I changed that mantelpiece with that Snake Mountain mantle, I guess we'll call it, or something. I'm assuming for the bad, turn this vehicle in for the bad guys. And I put a Cobra Khan in it, even with the big creature feet. So check out what that looks like in the belt. Caught the first notch. And we got Mechaneck set up with his extension neck, looking the wrong way for the bad guys. Doesn't even hear Cobra Khan coming up behind him. And I also want to show how one of the females fit in, of course, or Teela's from the Teela Zoar pack, really well. Because I don't think I ever tried it with the vintage because of the legs and stuff, but yeah, perfect. I also want to fit another unique character like Koldar on the ground ripper too, see what that looks like. Works pretty well too with all that weird armor. Imagine see a guy like that cruising down the street and something like this. You have to give him a wave. Alright, so overall I think this Mechaneck and ground ripper set is pretty cool. I'm really impressed with the ground ripper, even though it doesn't have that pull cord function. I was a little disappointed looking at it first, but what are you going to do with it? It moves easy, fits your guys really well, or the female characters. I like the way that belt just seems to hold them in better. Something with the design on this. I don't remember from the vintage, but I like how it's done. The stickers are okay. Wish they had a little better detail on them. They seem, I think the vintage one had better stickers, but okay, that's what we're getting with the origins. Aside that, it's cool, does a job. I like that you get this second mantle. I'm assuming it's reminiscent of the Snake Mountain head. When you put it on here, it makes the vehicle for the bad guys. At least that's what I'm doing with it. And Mechaneck, I mean, he's the star of the show here. I'm just so happy to finally get a Mechaneck. Love the way it was done. Looks great. Yeah, I wish that neck piece could have did something different. So if you get another one, as I said, you can snap the second piece on, not show a second blue collar. And maybe there's a way to customize it if you get another one, but not bad. I think it's pretty accurate to the vintage figure, how far it goes up anyway, Aside that, I think it's a great set. So when you guys see these and they're coming around online now, go for it. I think it's great. I appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, take care.